A very warm good evening. It's December the 28th. It's a Saturday. It's, coming closely to the end of 2024. You are on my channel, arunfoot. My name is Onawat Chaudhary. Welcome back to the channel. And as always, if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, do leave a like behind, share, and also subscribe. And as always, a big thank you to those of you who do the same. Well, we witnessed an interesting and exciting game of football in the evening in which Bengaluru FC scored a 4-2 win at Chennaiyin FC. Ryan Williams, the pick of the players. Sunil Chhetri amongst the goal scorers. Mistakes again from keepers, players. And EFC keeping on the pressure on Mohun Bagan, super giant at the top of the table, because as it looks at the moment, Mohun Bagan are on 29 points from 13 matches. BFC 27 points from 13 matches. So therefore, that's important. While Chennai stay 9th with 15 points behind the playoff spots, in which Northeast, Punjab and Jamshedpur have 18 points. But Chennai now have 14 matches, so they've got 10 matches to go. Kerala Blasters, East Bengal are on 14 each. And early in the day, East Bengal were held 1-1 in a draw by Hyderabad FC in a game in the early afternoon. So that is that. And I was very happy about tonight's match because the three earlier matches so far in this round didn't give me that feeling, didn't give me that vibe, that I feel that you need to have around matches. I don't know what you guys felt, but I felt it was a little underwhelming, a little boring as well, right? I mean, especially that first half today between Hyderabad and East Bengal. Yesterday's Mohammedan versus Odisha FC, and even Mohammedan win against Punjab FC wasn't the most exciting. So therefore, it was good to have a little bit of craziness in there, a little bit of excitement in there in that second match. And I said Ryan Williams, amongst the pick of the players on one side, and on the other side, of course, Sunil amongst the goal scorers. Sunil Chhetri, 9th goal of this campaign. And we were discussing earlier today about who could be scoring goals for or who could be Indian goal scorers in the Indian Super League. And it was only sadly Sunil who cropped up and didn't disappoint. Again, very, very smart and clever header where Dingnana needs to know where the attacker is, or ideally should know where the attacker is on one side, and on the other side, of course, it all once again shows the class that Sunil has in his game. And it was impressive to say the least. So for me, I think that's been sort of the pick of the whole thing at the moment. But let me know what you guys think, what you say would be your pick of the games so far. And I go once more through the league table. Mohun Super Giant on 29 points. Bengaluru FC second on 27 points. Both teams 13 matches. FC Goa third with 22 points from 12 matches. Their next match is only on next Saturday when they travel to Odisha. So that could be an interesting one, because Odisha are fourth with 20 points from 13 matches, while Mumbai City FC are fifth with 20 points from 12 matches. So Mumbai City could jump into third position with a win on Monday against Northeast United, who themselves are sixth, ahead of Punjab FC and Jamshedpur, who are all on 18 points. Northeast United with the better goal difference. Punjab FC and Northeast United have played 12 matches. Jamshedpur only 11. Chennai now, having played 14 matches, have 15 points, 4 losses in the last 5 games. Kerala Blasters are 10th on 14 points, with having a goal difference of -2. East Bengal are 11th with a goal difference of -3, 40 points. Huge chance missed by the red and gold today to win against Hyderabad FC, who with the point are now on 8 points from 13 matches, and Mohammedan Sporting at the bottom of the table are on 6 points from 13 matches. So that's the status in the league table. Also, as I always talk about what is happening here on my channel, if you haven't, do watch the shorter videos that I try to make on a daily basis. Today, asked the question about why does the 24-25 season I-League have a winter break. Yesterday, there's a story on Sunil Chetri's lovely gesture to Sana Singh by gifting him his ISL winning medal. Before that, could FIFA AFC take action against the AIFF on new constitution? That would be an interesting one to watch. And before that, of course, Hamza Chaudhary joining Bangladesh's Cricket Log Plus in South Asia. What kind of an effect could it have on Indian football? So these are the different stories that are there. Do leave your comments behind. Do watch these shorter videos. Even earlier, top 6 race, ISL League Shield race, but also last week, Narendra Modi meeting FIFA President Gianni Infantino on the sidelines of the opening of the Arabian Gulf Cup in Kuwait City. Also, of course, the topic of Kerala Blasters with Hyderabad FC and the search of the Blasters in Hyderabad for a new coach. So these are things that I'm looking forward to. As always, throw me your questions. Let's talk about the games today. Hyderabad FC earlier in the day. A game where I'd say nothing much to talk about, really, per se, except, of course, that situation with Arshdeep Singh and Clayton Silva in the first half, where the goalkeeper punches out the ball and then runs into the East Bengal striker. Doesn't look good for the keeper, to be honest. And my first feeling is that Arshdeep actually, due to having punch of ball, due to having that safety net around the goalkeeper, but foot is up, foot is upwards. That's the tricky part. So, not as clear cut, but to me still, if you ask me which side I'm trending, I'd still say that to me, it's still a little bit more towards saying it wasn't a penalty to me in that way. Surely not a red card, because if it's a penalty, then it's only a yellow card for Arshdeep. And on the other side, then after, of course, very, very boring first half. Nothing much to talk about. It got better in the second 45, a little bit here and there. East Bengal's best chance, a Clayton Silva free kick which hits the crossbar, and an alert. Jeevan Singh hits the ball in the 64th minute. And thereafter, I at least thought this game is done and dusted. Nothing much to happen in this game, because Hyderabad FC didn't look to me a team who could score in this game. And East Bengal didn't really look to be pushing for a second. I don't know, maybe they also thought Hyderabad is not in a position to score. And then in the 90th minute, a nice work combination in the end. Edmilson Correa out to Manoj Mohammed, and Manoj Mohammed equalizes with a placed shot into the far corner, 1-1. And that's the end of the game. So to me, very, very clearly, East Bengal FC have themselves to blame for this draw. They had all the opportunities, they were leading, and they couldn't utilize it in the best possible way. I think that's how it would sum it up. I said it during the live multiple times. I think if they, to me, they have only themselves to blame. Is AIFF Youth Leagues happening from January to April? Blues, I hope so. The Ryans Foundation Development League has started, so that's a good thing that has already started. Youth League supposed to run maybe from Jan to April, maybe Jan to March or Feb to March. But again, to me, still too short a time. I would have liked longer duration youth leagues, because I think it's very, very important for the players to get that experience. So for me, extended youth leagues would be much, much better. Hey, Walzian, I am doing fine. Good to see you back. Hope you're doing fine. And therefore, for me, that's the story of the Hyderabad game. As nowadays, sadly, I have to say, as expected, the East Bengal fans are up in arms and, blame game again on the AIFF, this, that, and everything. I think, let's guys be honest. This was, again, Friday night's match most probably was worse, but this was not the best game of the season. And East Bengal, after leading 1-0, should have either seen out the game or scored a second, and then the game would have been done. So therefore, I think the blame is on East Bengal, and it's always there, the blame game, but it didn't help. When we come to the second match of the day and the match of the evening, the 7:30 kickoff, Chennaiyin FC against Bengaluru FC, a game which was open from the start, but with chances at both ends. Ryan Williams with a 16th minute goal puts BFC ahead, deservingly ahead. BFC is not careful, and Irfan Yadwad equalizes in the 19th minute. Lovely pass from Brambilla to Yadwad equalizer. Then 43rd minute, Ryan Williams set up Sunil Chhetri, and Sunil Chhetri does not disappoint. Great header, puts it in. Then we are back to the topic of goalkeeper mistakes. A Chennaiyin throw in. Anamte gets to it. Gurpreet should just catch it, and I don't know how catch it. The ball somehow is in the net. 2-2, and BFC most probably ask themselves, how can this match be 2-2? They should be leading at least by a goal. And in the second half, then lovely work goal, Ryan Williams, Jorge Pereira Diaz, and again Ryan Williams into the net, and then Ryan Williams cross, own goal, and terrible own goal, and Nan Indiana will ask himself, why did he put that ball into his own net? So those were the things of the day. Ryan Williams, what a player, making an impact for BFC. Yeah, I mean, in any other countries, Ryan Williams of Indian origin, any other country by now would have said, you know what, till March, my task would be to give Ryan Williams a passport and get Ryan Williams to play for India. I think that would be the aim in every other country. And that's the sad part in this whole PIO discussion. We have a PIO in the ISL. Sorry, I always forget that. Yes, we do have a PIO in the ISL in Ryan Williams, who's doing very, very well. And sadly, we're not talking about it. That even a player like the quality with Ryan Williams, again, you saw that set up for Sunil, it would help. Goalkeeping blunders continues. Yeah, Manolo, sadly, that's a fact. And again, we're not talking about some small goalkeeper or some up-and-coming goalkeeper or a goalkeeper who doesn't play much. We could talk about Bhaskar Roy's mistake last week. But Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, not acceptable. A keeper of his stature, of his class, should be having that ball easily. And again, all of them are having those blunders. Some of them goals are scored. Often the goals are not scored. That's also a thing. They're getting away. So let's see. Indian defenders able to play high line in the case of Storer failed to KBFC. Pradeep, the high line issue is something which, is sometimes difficult. It depends also on the foreign centre back who's controlling that defensive line. That's one. And the second thing is, it could have worked if they didn't create individual mistakes. And that's your problem. If you have individual mistakes in your game, then it becomes a whole issue. Imagine our goalkeepers doing these kind of blunders in qualifiers, which is very much possible seeing this season. I said, Manolo, that's a very, very, it's to me a very, very big possibility. And it doesn't matter which goalkeeper we're talking about. We can speak any of the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 top goalkeepers in the ISL. All of them have had blunders, goal scoring blunders, and that's the worrying part. The one position where, at least until last season, where we'd say, the goalkeepers aren't the best in the world, but they've got a certain level of standard. This season, they're all having blunders. Kalyan Chaubey giving interview and saying Kolkata Derby is a top 5 derby in world. These rankings of derbies and all that stuff, it's always very difficult to say. I know, for example, that for me, the Kolkata Derby is a big derby in world football, right? But if I would ask people here in Europe and you would say, listen, name me the top 5 derbies in the world, I think nobody would mention the Kolkata Derby. That's also a reality. So that might be in Kollan's head. It might be in the head of people in Kolkata, but in the rest of the world, it surely is not a top 5 derby. So sadly to say that. Why you guys stopped appearing in sports coverage? Show sports coverage. One, Rahul left. Rahul has gone to the UK to study. That was one thing. Akshata is also no longer a direct face of sports coverage. They've changed their strategy a little bit also. And therefore, sadly, it was fun to be doing those shows, but that's why we don't do those shows together anymore. Through that own goal was a pain to watch. Yes, Virgin. It's one of those which you don't want to see, but you have to see sometimes. Williams, Chetri, Yan try an alternate reality. Yeah, could be even other players in that mix. If we're looking at alternative reality, who knows? Hi, Football United. I'm back after a long time. My exams were there. Today I saw the East Bengal Hyderabad FC match. Again, a horrendous referee decision twice. Shahjahan Paul Ashpik, WWE with Clayton. What's your take? Where is that handball? That's my first question. Because I think there were two situations, and that Ashdeep thing. Boy, I'm still trending to say that it's not a foul in my opinion. I think the referee, it looks bad, but he's in his zone, puts it out, has his knee up. He's allowed the goalkeeper knee, but he puts his foot forward and then stretches out. And if it was a WWE thing, and if Clayton was seriously hit, I don't know. I'm still not sure if I don't know. I don't think it's as clear as you are trying to sell me that, and that's what it is. Every goalkeeper make mistakes, but the question who makes less. No, I think that's the thing, but also who has the calmness to play international football. I go back to the topic of experience of international football, and in my opinion, despite mistakes, that's going to be, I don't know. It's for Manolo to choose, not an easy one to do. And again, he has other positions to think about. Who's he going to play where? Because he has players who are, a lot of experienced players who are not in the right form and right shape. Let's see. Dimpuya is not an ISL level player. I don't know. Maybe not today, but there have been match days where you say he's ISL level and you say other players are not ISL level. It is a mixed bag. He had his problems today. Why? Because he didn't have Ryan Williams with him. I think that's the whole point. Dimpuya is as good as the man next to him, and in this case, there was no Ryan Williams today, and Ryan Edwards today, and that really was visible. Owen's contract till 2026. I think with this performance, will he not be sacked? Manolo, the owners of Chennaiyin FC, the sporting management of Chennaiyin FC have a lot of trust in Owen Coyle, and let's see what they do in the winter. I think that's going to be the question to me. Because if they bring in some players and Owen plays a little bit of his magic with the team, you don't know. At the moment, they're only 3 points behind, even though they have not played 2-3 matches more than the others. But this race is going to be tight. This 6-spot race, which is building up slowly once again, looks to be moving into a tight spot and tight fix. So let's see if Owen Coyle is able to turn the tide. But normally, I don't see them firing Owen Coyle. I don't see that. And it is something we'll have to wait and see. I think in the ISL, the Spanish coaches are more success. Your opinion, sir? Pradeep, I would say if we look at the history of the ISL over the last 10 plus now years, Uh, you know, so therefore, yeah, the Spanish coaches are the ones who are there. We not only have now a Spanish national team coach, but the coaches are there. Still, Gurpreet Singh Sandhu at international level is good. His saves against Vietnam saved us the match. That's the point, right? That's the point, Manoro. That international experience to me counts, and therefore to me, yeah, that's to me something which was which is there. Gurpreet has that experience which others just don't. Thought on BFC Indian backline overall did well, right? I mean, Roshan is a consistent performer this season. Nikhil Pujari had a good game overall. Rahul Beke and Sana as well. So, could have done maybe better than when that first goal was scored. That better covering or Irfan Yadwad, and the second one, that Namte goal. Yeah, shouldn't allow Namte to actually move in freely and hit the ball in, but otherwise, I looked okay. How do you distinguish between quality coaching and poor coaching? If you ask people who run club, if you're running a club, you have to look at youth level or at senior level. What are they doing? With senior level, you would look at what's the mood amongst the players. The players, are they performing? At youth level, you say, is he developing players? Is there an output? Those would be some of the criteria that you would look at. If that was a foul, then yellow to Arshdeep and penalties Bengal. If it's not, then throw in, because Arsh punched the ball out of the play. Drop ball was given. The referee looked clueless. I think he gave it. If you ask me again, that's my interpretation of why he goes and gives a drop ball, is because Clayton is down, right? So therefore, then he gives a drop ball, and you're not going to give a drop ball to the attacking side in that situation. To me, the referee did not look clueless, right? And that's something I think that he was clear with his decision. He took his decision. And sometimes you want to see what you want to see sometimes. And we've been talking about this over the last 2-3 days. If you want to see something, you want to see it. And that is something, right, where, again, it's a problem. We've had matches now where the referees had impact, very bad impact. But this today, East Bengal can only blame themselves, I think, again, And if you're leading 1-0 in a then you need to finish off the job. Score a second, the game is done. Would you play Sana, Beke, Anwar, Jingan, and March? Manoj, if you ask me, Jingan and Beke would be my preferred choice. Manoj, don't forget the goal line clearance by Ali saved us 2 against Vietnam. Yeah, very true, Azim. Just in Yemen have defeated Bahrain in Gulf Cup. Yeah. CRC Gulf Cup results, upsets all over there. I don't know, it looks like, I've said that earlier today, it's that these two, Gulf Cup or ASEAN Cup, these tournaments somehow throw up crazy results when you look afterwards into the qualifiers, what these teams, what results, to me, and, Yemen defeating Bahrain, Saudi losing as well, Qatar losing. Crazy results. What's going on there? Who's the best coach in ISL in your opinion? Rohit? I wouldn't. I don't currently have a standout coach who I would say that this coach or that coach is exceptional in the ISL, in my opinion. Why does the coach who comes to the national team give chances to Gurpreet Singh again and again after Gurpreet made so many mistakes? Because at international level, he's our best goalkeeper. This is something which I think, and if you like it or not, be it under Steven Constantine, be it under Igor Stimac, now be it under Manolo. Yeah, he does his mistakes 100%. But tell me a keeper who doesn't do a mistake, right? Gurpreet Singh Sandhu at international level is still our best number one. Best. No one comes closer. Yeah, Manolo, I totally agree with you on this one. I think that's something which, if I like it or not, if you like it or not, that's a reality. Gurpreet at international level is the best goalkeeper that we have, and that's something which needs to be remembered. That's, in my opinion, that's a very, very important thing. So therefore, never forget that. Pradeep says, I'm a Carabasas FC fan. I'm likely welcome. You are home. Your appearance we deserved. Okay, understood, right? Thank you very, very much. I've been to the stadium twice. Once in 2014 with Mumbai City when we played there. Great atmosphere in 2014, and in 2019 I visited for the opening match of the ISL between the Blasters and then ATK, where ATK took a lead and then the Blasters turned around 1-2-1. So lovely atmosphere. Every club in ISL are more or less affected of referee decisions. Should we bring in few good foreign referees in the ISL? But these referees will be happy with the mediocre referees. Your first sentence, Football United, I think is the most important thing. What you say now, that all teams are affected by the referees. And foreign referees is something that has been tried. They used to have foreign referees in the past. I myself had done that, worked on with the German FA to bring a Bundesliga referee 5-6 years ago, who refereed 3 matches. But we need to develop. We need to develop our referees, and that's something that we need to work as with the whole system. This is one thing. The referees are reflecting to some extent the standard where we are. And if you are a Man United fan, as the logo shows, right? And I said this over the last few days a few times. If you would ask Pep Guardiola, I remember last season Jurgen Klopp was talking about it. Thomas Tuchel has spoken about it as Premier League coach. Mourinho has spoken about it. Even they don't rate the referees in England highly. Right. I know in the Bundesliga there's a lot of discussion. In here we are talking about, in Europe, about some people would like to get rid of VAR again. In India we would like to have VAR, and therefore these are so that's something which is there. Can we use Tom Byers? We are starting ball mastery from 3 from home itself, and we're 6, we can put them into U6 academies. Yeah, Brendan, why not? Do it. Anyone can do that. Anyone can start doing that. It's on each individual parent or on the parents to start things with their kids, right? It's not the system. Don't put this on the system. If you want to allow your kids to play football at 3 and do it at home, it can be even indoors with a plastic ball. Do that. Let them play. Let the kids, boys and girls, enjoy. So how do you rate Gurpreet Singh Sandhu against other goalkeepers in Asia? Does he belong at the best in Asia? No, Manolo. I think there is no Indian player at the moment who is even close to the best in Asia. Gurpreet had a much better phase. I would have said, the time around when he returned from Viking Stavanger, but it's not Asian level. Gurpreet at the international and against Kerala Blasters is different beast, says Sharhat. Yeah, he's proven it against the Blasters as well. You're very, very right. Do you think development is more of the holistic development in systems rather than just one aspect? Yeah, of course. Brennan, you can develop one aspect. Or let's say one academy does its job well in India. That will not work because that academy will need to have opponents. Where without opponents, you will not be able to develop your football. That is part of the problem in the whole system. We need better quality, as I say, better grassroots, better youth football, better coaching, better competitions, longer competitions, and better scouting, right? And therefore, that's the reality. And therefore, we need to work on all those things if we want to develop Indian football. India would have won the last match 1-0 had it not been for that mistake by Gurpreet. I don't agree with you, Crystal, because India would have lost the match if Gurpreet Singh doesn't save us. Exactly. So, La Masia Academy, Manchester Academy, how does it differ? Monali, academies differ, how they differ. Again, you have to see Barca's way of teaching the kids, of working with the ball. And on the other side, Man United, how they produce players, Man City, how they produce players. Yeah. Can we beat a team like Oman or bottom tier 2 teams? Well, on our day, I think yes. But will we beat Oman? I don't know. At the moment, I don't know who will beat. I think that's our biggest problem at the moment. We don't know who, that's the problem. Right, already over 30 minutes here of this Indian football live discussion here on arunfoot. If you're liking what you're seeing, do leave a like behind. Only 8 likes so far, guys. I think we can do better than that. Do share it with other people as well if you think that they should be joining the conversation. We're at 2,041 subscribers, so thank you very much, everybody. We are slowly but clearly growing, so thanks a lot as always. And let's keep on growing the community and get more people involved in our conversations and discussions where you can ask me questions and I try to answer. You said player quality lacking. What are the area India coaches lacking? The way they teach their players, I think they lack in experience, quality understanding, some of them, of the game, right? Drills, exercises, these kind of things. It's Renal used the word holistic development, in general in the system, and I think that's also with the coaches. In the case of Manolo's system, the Indian team player is able to play. I think Pradeep, Manolo has become realistic on what he wants his team to play, and that's what he tries to get out of his team. So I think Manolo is being realistic on that front and trying to get the best out of his team. It doesn't always work for him, but he's trying to get the best out of his team. And again, if Manolo had the one or the other extra player there, like he has had at Hyderabad, or he had at or has at FC Goa, that would make a difference. If he had him Uday at the back and he had someone like a Batu Bikche up front, but he doesn't have to. He has to work with the Indian players in the national team. To me, Saudi looks more beatable than Oman. Yeah, Rishikesh, again, beatable, and being beatable is something, is different to me. I think, as I said, Arabian Gulf Cup is not a benchmark for me. I look, at the Asian Cup or World Cup qualifiers, and there I don't see Saudi being beatable for us. I think the question for me is who is beatable for us. Forget Saudi, Oman. Don't even talk about these teams at the Gulf level. Forget the ASEAN level. Now let's focus March, June, September, October, November. We have Bangladesh, Singapore, and Hong Kong to face. Those are the teams that we need to meet. Forget every other team. Those 3 teams are the teams for us to beat in 2025. If we want to be at the AFC Asian Cup 2027, these 3 teams are our opponents. We need to beat them. We need to get the better of them. Everything else doesn't matter. In the 10 years of ISL, do you see a lot of improvements in the systems? Yeah, systems in and around the field, yes, massive improvement. I think the way that the match is organized, if I look at the broadcast, look at the quality of the stadiums, infrastructure for fans, predictability of schedules, those things are good. As we saw today in the afternoon in Hyderabad, we now have some grounds which have issues. This was not a topic that much over the years in the ISL. And, that's something to say. No Indian goalkeepers come forward and miss the fly of the ball like Gurpreet. I don't know, Crystal, why, harping on and on and on about Gurpreet, because, so, yeah. The others aren't better. That's the reality. Top six hope over for Chennaiyin FC. Oh no, I don't think so. And remember last season they were out and out of that, and they did, launch a late comeback. Never underestimate Owen Coyle and his team. So therefore, for me, I wouldn't say it's not out. Let's wait and see what Owen can get out of this team. And it's as I say, to me, it's not a done deal. Any area don't know what we are doing. We have no clue. Blindly going into football in instances. The general way Indian football is running, right? Sometimes I feel, I don't know. 27 January will be cracker at Kolkata. Yes, it is Mohun Bagan Super Giant against Bengaluru FC. And interestingly, BFC won the first game 3-0. So worst loss of the season for Mohun Bagan. So therefore, that I think also plays a little bit in the mind of the Mohun Bagan Super Giants giant team. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens on that day. Did the Oman 2019 qualifier game was a winnable for us? But we were winning up to late in the game, right? And after 70 minutes, we just simply collapsed. We were physically not in a position to counter Oman. So if you say, yes, it was winnable to a certain extent, but if you can't maintain that level for 90 minutes, then you can't win, that's the thing. A weak penalty from the Vietnamese player would have been saved by any goalkeeper, a weak saved by any goalkeeper. Okay, yeah, that's your opinion, I said, but you have to save it first, no? Do you think European kids learn football in a different way compared to South American kids? Do culture and ethnic differences matter in the way kids learn in different parts of the world? I would say yes, because for kids to go out and play, it's a very normal, it's a very natural thing in this part of the world, here in Europe at least. And it is I guess it's also normal in other parts of the world to say, you know what, we go out and play football. And from that perspective, I would say yes. If you ask me, in Europe, I think, there are the options that you start playing let's say in a local park or with even in your own backyard, or you join clubs early, which has also been a trend over the last 10-15 years. So therefore, for me, that's it. And cultural and ethnic differences come in as well, because again, in South America, you also have these open fields, but it's different, right? You have hard courts, you have this and that. So different parts of the world, you play differently. In some parts of the world, you start playing on grass. Others, you'll start playing on concrete. Others, you'll start. I would have said, we used to as kids start playing on the roads, right? In the backyards, where it was on the road. So therefore, these are different things, and again, different parts of the world, different approach of how and when you play. Chennaiyin FC main problem. Left back and right back position. Yeah, maybe. But I'll add something else, which I felt today. Ryan Edwards is missing. I think that's a factor which makes Chennaiyin FC tick. That he's a factor as a captain, of course, and again, foreign centre back. Yeah, that's something which is there. But the wing backs today, yes, didn't have the best of games for Chennaiyin. So from that perspective, yeah, that's something which is there as a fact as well, 100%. Do you impressed by Roshan? What about Kotal? Any difference you find? Morali, Pritam Kotal and Roshan Naurem are two different kinds of wing backs. Sorry. First of all, Roshan can play on both wings, so that's a big advantage for him. Be playing at right and left. He can even play in attacking position. Pritam is more of a centre back come right back. So that's that. And for me, that's the biggest difference. I think Roshan has more energy moving forward, better precision as well. So that's what we say. ISL adopted downgrade in next season. Okay, Pradeep, why? Could you explain me why you're saying that? So South American kids started playing on the streets more compared to, let's say, Japan and Korean kids. I would think so. I would think so. I have to guess all of this, Rohit. But if you would ask me, and again, without having experienced it personally, I would think yes, that would be the case. Be it, let's put not streets, open spaces would be what I would say. Because in Japan and Korea, you're very often doing it via schools. Or now that here in Bengal, football is much more played than cricket, but good scouting is not there. Shivam, 100% agree with you on this. You know, and the other thing, scouting and coaching as well. Whenever I see these so-called coaching camps or whatever is happening, I see the coaching sometimes. I sometimes feel that says, I want to step in and stop that and say, guys, what are you teaching the kids? Right? I've seen stuff in the past where I think like, and these are sometimes coaching camps which are being done by ex-players. So then I thought like, what level of football did you guys actually play that you're coaching like this? And then you know that, and these are ex-top level Indian footballers, right? So that's the problem. Brazil 2002 World Cup winning team come to Chennai, play for Indian legend team. Yeah, I read that as well. There was an article in the Hindu, in the Sports Star about it. End of March, early April, I think. Ronaldinho, Rivaldo supposed to, and Kaká supposed to be amongst them. Would be great if that happens. Again, great footballers, and let's wait and see if that happens or not. Do you think nurturing kid in Europe much better compared to other parts of the world? Yeah, 100% more. It is much better in Europe, much more organized, much more structured than it is in other parts of the world. Owen Coyle got huge backup from management, still failing to deliver. I felt his tactics have been exposed. What do you think? Will he stay till end? Shomo, Owen Coyle's tactics have been the same since he's come to India. And the interesting part is he's been successful with his system, right? It's like when we talk about someone like a Habas, where we know that Habas's mindset is defensive football. I think that, I don't know if his tactics have failed or has it exposed. I think some of the younger Indians have not stepped up. I mean, in my to me, Irfan Yadwad, they were developing very, very well, and that goal is a good goal. It's one of those positive signs, I would say, going forward into March. If Irfan Yadwad can keep that form, who knows, maybe Irfan Yadwad more than even Rahim Ali, who I thought would be an option, could be an answer to a striker problems. So therefore, I would not fully say that he's failed, but yeah, the plan B doesn't seem to work. And again, it depends on the foreigners, right? The foreigners, again, Wilmer Jordan Gill and Chima Chukwu not scoring as many goals as they have scored in the past. That is hurting them. Brambilla creating some great opportunities. And overall, there is a little bit of quality also lacking. Yes, they gave him a better team, but this team is, last season he got them more than maximum out of the team to get them into the playoffs, because I don't think that last season's Chennaiyin FC team was a team for the playoffs, but now he has to fight. In America, kids don't really play soccer organically in open spaces. It's generally organized by coaches in local open fields. Interesting. I've heard this, Rohit, that in America it's structured differently, and generally sports in America are structured differently than the rest of the world. Kerala Blasters see main blunder and Sir Jeekson, Freddie not perfect. Again, Jeekson was not sold because they wanted to sell him, and Freddie not perfect. I think Freddie has the potential. I thought Freddie in the last 2 matches before Vibin got injured, I was more impressed with Freddie than with Vibin, and we always speak about Vibin. So therefore, yeah, difficult. How do you see sports culture in Western world and Europe, India? What difference you see? Do you think nurturing talent is switching? There is a sports culture in the Western world. In India, in some sports, you have so-called sports culture, but so that's something which is there, and Yeah, India needs to nurture talent. I mean, we've spoken about it many, many times, right? There was a friend of mine in my school who was an excellent good goalkeeper, kept clean sheets in back-to-back tournament, pursuing engineering due to family pressure, whereas his dream unfulfilled. Shivam, that happens. I think if you look at lower level football, for example, here in Germany, you'll see a lot of boys who've played in the academies of big teams. Even my hometown team, FC Remscheid, 50 has players who've played in the academies of the big teams. But these boys never made it as a pro and then had to decide for themselves, what am I going to do? Am I going to try, or am I going to move on? And then these boys then at some stage move on and then try, to have a second career outside of football, and that's what happens. Owen Coyle, team previous edition, brilliant midfielder and striker like Rivellaro and Vazquez, two players created magic, but the quality is missing. Yeah, Morali, that's a fact. Kian played the last few minutes and left more impact than Farouk. Crystal, that's the problem, right? Today he did. In the earlier game he started, that impact wasn't there. So that's the problem. That's the problem. So the problem is he has a certain level of potential. There's a certain level of expectation, but Kian needs to prove that, and that's something which I feel. If you ask me, that is my biggest concern when I see a Kian Nasiri, is that Kian Nasiri is not fulfilling his potential. And it doesn't matter where he goes, in my opinion. That's the thing. Which elite team will Germany find difficult to win? Japan has beaten you, so we know that. Again, Japan has beaten us, but Japan beating us at the time in the World Cup or even in the friendly after that, Germany was in a low. I don't think Japan would beat Germany now. The other team most probably would be South Korea. Would be tricky, but yeah, Germany is now moving to be a top team in the world. I think they're going to be one of the favorites for the World Cup in 2026. So therefore, yeah, Asian teams difficult. I think Kian should move on to any other team. Otherwise, I don't know why, but I fear he's going to end up like Qatar. Shivam, which team? Where if he can't make it in Chennai, and Chennai, there are options for wingers. It's the same thing as with Gurkirat. Gurkirat moved on from Mumbai City, and people told me, Gurkirat Singh should be in the national team, this, that, everything. And I said, Gurkirat is not even close to the national team, right? Irfan Yadwat needed 7-8 months to settle down, and he started showing glimpses of something towards the end of last season. He's getting better and better. Yeah, Irfan Yadwat is one of those players who I think are getting better and better from his days in the Goa Pro League or playing for FC Bengaluru United. So therefore, he needs to Kian needs to fight it out, and Kian needs to show the talent that he possesses. That's the thing, the main thing. Kian has a certain level of talent, which very few Indian players have, in my opinion, but he has to show that, and he doesn't show that on a regular basis, and therefore that then becomes a problem. Kian has to showcase his talent. That is something which I hope he will do, because there is talent in there. I think there are a lot of other players that we don't want to talk about who don't have the talent that Kian has. Kian has that, but Kian has to showcase his talent. That's for me the problem. One mistake Indian football keep on doing over the years, but not rectified it. Get your priorities right. Get your priorities right. That's the biggest problem, Murali, for Indian football. What about Kuru Singh? Pradeep, still early, getting a lot of game time at the moment at the Blasters. That's good at his age as a teenager. Let's see if we're talking about him in a year's time or in 2 years' time, or if he then disappears in oblivion, which we've seen now with many, many players. So for me, what went wrong with Chante this season? Blues, the problem of consistent performance. I think Chante has been over the last few years always a late starter. Even last season, he didn't have a good, it was okay, but he didn't have that good a first half of the season, but it didn't matter because Mumbai City was doing well. I think there is more pressure on him because he's now not only just Lalinzola Chante, the winger or the attacking player for Mumbai City. Now is Lalinzola Chante, the captain of Mumbai City FC, Lalinzola Chante, a senior player in the Indian national team. All these things are now a factor for him, and he's not performing. He's gotten better in the last few matches, but he's not at the level. yeah, that he has been in the past. And that's, I think, the biggest challenge for Chante as a player. That's why ISL needs to improve foreign players in starting them so that Indian players should be forced to play at I-League. Shomo, our Indian players are not even challenging these foreigners now. So, or are you meaning that we should have more? Acha, I will go with 5 foreigners and at least 15 ISL teams. And this is where I disagree, Shomo. To me, the point here is the challenge is with the ISL is more foreigners means more foreigners in key positions, and Indian players forced to play I-League. The standard of the I-League is even worse than the ISL. Right? We saw over the last, again, we saw an exciting game tonight, but again, a lot of the goals were scored because of mistakes. They're not, that third BFC goal is brilliance between Ryan Williams and Jorge Pereira Diaz. But otherwise, most of the other goals are set up because players either are not in their positions or players are really making errors. Again, I know football is a game of errors. So putting in more foreigners, increasing the teams, again, we don't have enough players for a 13-team ISL. I think we should have a 10-10 ISL. Sorry. That would be better. Blow up maybe the I-League, but don't, maybe 16-team I-League. But ISL at the top level, we don't have enough players for 10 teams to fill at the moment. There are a lot of players who are running around who should not be playing ISL. Forget ISL. There are players who've been talked about to be playing national team or who have in the recent past played national team, who if I was in any decision-making capacity, would tell people, say, not under my watch. These guys are not going to be playing for the national team. Sometimes it's become very, very easy to become an Indian national team player. Talks are going on that players like Salahuddin and Tyson are going to be sent out on loan to I-League club, I-League teams. Shivam, if that happens, that's a good decision. That's a very, very good decision. Everyone like and subscribe. Yeah, thanks, Rohit, for making that announcement. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep on growing the community of people who are joining us. 12 likes so far. Thank you very much for that. And and do subscribe as well, so we keep on growing the community. Again, last week we crossed the 2,000 mark, now at 2,041. So thanks a lot. And also do watch the shorter videos that I'm making. I made the one on why does the I-League have a winter break? A thing that we discussed here a few times on this show. Thought I'd make a video on that. And then also made a video on Sunil's gesture to Sana Singh by handing him over his ISL winning trophy, medal. Could AIFF be facing a FIFA take action in regard to potentially a FIFA ban? Hamza Chaudhary's story has been a few times in the short videos. Modi meeting last Saturday, a week ago, Narendra Modi met with the FIFA president Gianni Infantino, ISL top 6 on League Shield race as well. The firing of Mikkel Store and Thongbo Singto, who would be alternatives. So a lot of videos to go through. Do watch them. And as always, thanks a lot for your support. Again, like and share, as Rohit says. Again, let's get more people involved in our conversations. That's, I think, the main aim. Jackie Chan Singh, how do you see us play? Jackie Chan had his phase. Came from Shillong, of course, a Manipuri player. Had a good phase in his career, even played for the national team. I will go, as you said, do you think Chante's peak is still in front of him? Rohit, I would hope so. I hope that his peak wasn't last season in the ISL playoffs. I would hope not that towards the end of last season was his peak. I would hope that there is an even higher peak that Lallianzuala Chante could achieve in the years to come. How do you see Irfan Yadwad? Did he create any impact or another Jay Gupta? I think the comparison is not right, Murali, because Jay Gupta is a defensive player, and to me, Irfan has grown in stature. Has now made himself a first 11 player at Chennaiyin. I think that's, Owen Coyle has slowly built him up over the last 1.5 years. And now let's see if we can take the next step. That's going to be, consistent performances. We have got good young players in striker position with lack of game time. Ayush, Gurkirat, Suhail, David, Shiva Shakti, etc. Do you think that these are good young strikers, Shivam? Do you think that any of these guys that you mentioned are a potential replacement for Sunil Chhetri? Any of them? They would have to step up. At the moment, none of these boys have convinced me that they're good enough. You know, so none of these strikers have stepped up to where I would say, a one-off good performance here and there. We've seen that with Ayush, with Gurkirat. Suhail has not had his time in the ISL so far. David now has it moving. But I saw David in the derby. That was not good. And Shiva Shakti seemed to have had his best phase last season. Will Indian football ever improve? Oh, XYZ. If I knew that, that's like a who wants to be a millionaire question. And if I have the answer, I win the million, so to say. I love to. I would, as I say, my heart says yes. My head sometimes say maybe or not. But again, I will try and do, yeah. I don't have an answer. It has to improve it, but we need changes. We need some radical changes, and those are not happening. Sad to say, but had a lot of hope in Suhail Ahmed Bhatt, Kashmiri boy. So first saw him in the first time in Durham Cup versus Bangladesh Army. His first burst of pace, also hitting the post with great score. I have been saying this to my friends. If he is able to break through to the next level, yes, maybe. But again, Shivam just mentioned the name of those strikers. Again, I hope one of them makes it, but at the moment, I don't see them. It's the same discussion as with the wingers, right? P. Vishnu was being told to me in the afternoon a few times before the game, and P. Vishnu today, came back to the standard that P. Vishnu most probably is likely to play for most of his career. That is part of the problem that we face, and therefore, to me, that remains the challenge. To me, it remains a challenge to say that, and therefore, I hope that these players pick up and become better. But yeah, it's something. Let's see. Egypt won record 7-time African Cup of Nations. Mo Salah, the first world-class player in history. Yeah. They've had good players, but never a player of the class of Mo Salah. Ever is a long time. Exactly, Rohit. That could be, a time until eternity. Players like Thomas Meunier and Sergio Busquets are now in the highest level of football. Slim, lanky players, not that technical. Either just very agile and smart players. Are you telling me that Sergio Busquets is not a technical player? Did I miss something? 3 years, Ivan Vukovic built a strong team, replacement of Starek, good precision. Your opinion, sir? I don't think Ivan Vukovic built a good team because you're forgetting in all that hype around Vukovic, there are two things. The team has seemed to have collapsed now twice in those last 2 seasons of the ISL, had a good start and then collapsed. And the whole Bengaluru issue. I think, if I was in management, Ivan Vukovic would have been fired that night itself when he walked off. And I might have even fired him in the stadium and said, whoever wants to, if it's Ishfaq Ahmed or someone else, sit on the bench and play the match, finish the match. To me, that is something which is inexcusable. You do not walk out of the match, if you like it or not, with the decision of the referees. And again, we've spoken about mistakes of referees a lot. You do not walk off. That is not an option. Do you think our Indian players lazy? They just enjoy the rich money. I don't think the players are lazy. I think there is a ceiling of where they can get with their quality, and I think, it's a problem. And the money, of course, I think live, and therefore, it's. Renal, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say they're lazy. Hi, Blue. Your opinion about Gurpreet Singh Sandhu blunder? How is the goalkeeping so poor? I can't explain that. That to me looked an easy one. I don't know if it was, but to me, as looking in it from the outside, it looked like an easy, simple catch and he catches it and moves sideways and lets the ball drop. And he's had those. Yeah, he's had a few of those. I don't know why. I don't know why Gurpreet has these kind of simple mistakes. It's not even a difficult one, right? It's a simple, I don't know, not even a necessary mistake from him. And yeah, it's one of those where I would hope that he wouldn't commit it, but he does, and that's something which is a bit of a problem. Not that flashy with the ball. Sergio Busquets doing the basics right. Feint turn when pressed, great and recovery ball, not going in one out, dribbling through defenses. Yeah, but again, he knows his, he knows what his strengths and weaknesses are, but he's technically still good enough to do those things, right? Because he's learned it the Barca way. He's learned it the Barca way, and he's learned it a very good way, and that is where Busquets is would be someone where I would tell Pep, if he can get Busquets from Inter Miami for 6 months, get him for 6 months from Inter Miami until Rodri returns. Gurpreet Singh Sandhu shouldn't be put above Subrata Paul. He had much talent. The bar was so high, but he just went down for a few more bucks. I would never put him above Subrata. This goes and has the chance to stay. It's a theoretical discussion again. Who was better, when and where? Subodh had his time, Gurpreet had his time, and both have had their influence on the Indian national team. India is so huge, so how we arrange youth leagues, I don't think it's easy to hold pan-Indian youth league. I would make hyper-local structure like MFA does. Renal, we've discussed it multiple times. I know you love the word hyper-local. No, hyper-local, it depends where you are in the country, how the structure is. What works in Mizoram doesn't work in other parts of India. In most cases, I think you would have city leagues or whatever, but you don't need to, pan-India is something which goes to the latter stages of the year. Any instance you felt the coaching that India kids get when you see, please stop it in an instant? Yeah, I said that earlier, right? I've seen that quite a bit of time, these football coaching camps or coaching clinics, what they call. Yeah, should have been stopped, yeah, by someone or the other. Do you think if got a player recognition, he would have been a world beater? I am Vijayan, you're saying, right? Then a theoretical question. Ambition is a natural talent. So I think, again, these comparisons to me don't work. These comparisons to me just don't work because, again, Ambition was the best natural talent that I have seen as an Indian footballer. An exceptional talent, but again, and therefore the comparison to me is quite tough. Yeah, maybe if his football education was better, I don't know. If Ambition was born in Brazil, he might have been a world star. I don't know. In theory, yeah, but I don't know. You don't know. Was Subrata Pal called the Spider-Man during the Asian Games, or was it Gurpreet? It was the 2011 AFC Asian Cup that Subrata Pal played an exceptional tournament and was called the Spider-Man, especially after the first game against Australia. I find it very funny and cringe when Indian players are celebrating if they're scoring every other game. They celebrate their 15, 16 goals in the back. Yeah, XYZ, you can say that. Let them celebrate. Again, I think the thing is, when you see the celebrations, you realize that they watch a lot of social media. Again, BFC had that thing with the first goal from Ryan Williams, right? When they sat down, and I don't know what they did. I don't know if you know what they did. Let them celebrate. Good evening, Gear on Rare. Welcome back. Do you think if we put Son in Indian footy system, biggest ceiling will be ISL? You never know. Well, theoretical. I could be, might not be. Who knows? What are your thoughts on East Bengal match? I found it quite boring till 70 minutes. didn't like East Bengal approach. They must dominate game, in my opinion. Agree from you? Agree with you. Here and there, because I thought the first half, the less we speak, the better, because there was, except that collision between Arshdeep and Clayton, there's nothing much to talk about. Second half, it was a little bit more active. East Bengal get a goal. And then I thought sort of it was sorted. It's one of those games where I thought Hyderabad is not going to score, and it felt like East Bengal thought the same way and played that way. That was my concern, that East Bengal didn't really make the effort to try and go for a second or maybe a third goal, and let that game play out. And then out of the blue, Mohammed scores a good goal. That was actually the best build-up that Hyderabad had in the game. And they dropped those 2 points, which in the end might cost them now the ISL playoffs. It might have been that game where they got really close to the playoffs, and today they missed that chance and stay behind the Blasters and Chennaiyin FC. So let's wait and see. From what I saw of I'm Vijayan clips, he played football with joy, had spirit, and in it, confidence in his skills, which none of the current Indian players have had. Yeah. I mean, I have seen him come close waters. I've seen him play matches. I've seen him in training. Vision was a treat to watch. It was, sometimes today it is a pain to watch Indian football. It hurts the eyes, so that's something. The fight for Shield is tough, but I feel Mohun Bagan edge over BFC. Yeah, again, let's see. I think Monday is going to be an important one. If Mumbai City can join that little fight for the title, I still think that Mumbai City have it in them. The ISL yesterday showcased their the league table, and look where Mohun Bagan were last year, and they picked up and turned things around. So anything is possible. Honestly, what made Jisoo Park that good? Just because he could run all day without tiring? Axel said he had 4 lungs. What else did he have? What position was he actually made for? Yeah, he was a great winger. Had game sense, had technical abilities, and was somewhat of a complete player at some stage. Let everything aside, if we could give Ryan passport, we would easily much better. But sad state, yeah, Blue. I said that. Ryan Williams. Why not give Ryan Williams an Indian passport, right? So therefore, yeah, one of the topics, right? Why Ryan Williams, the way he's playing at the moment, he would make us much, much better. And Ryan Williams would be a leader on the field and in the dressing room. If these Indian footballers watch so much social media, do they not watch the training videos of Real Madrid? They don't watch all the learning videos, shows where their priorities are. See, watching training videos and then implementing it is something different. I'm sure that there are coaches and players who watch those videos, but yeah, they need to start watching videos from the age of 5, 6, and then go through what is, yeah. I saw Vijan play football at 45 years old with kids, and you can tell he just loved playing soccer. He was laughing and having fun and playing with Fruity at age 45. Vijan is, again, a God-gifted talent. So that's something which is a rarity. Women's game going to happen within 2 days. Yes, Giron Rare, not to forget, India versus the Maldives. Yes, 2 international friendlies. So at least on that instance, good job done by the AIFF. Better those 2 matches than none. Do you think India has a problem with celebrity even without achieving certain make Kiran give stardom, red carpet? Yeah, Morally, we've spoken about it 100%. I hate it as AIFF didn't clarify yet what spot ISL winners will get this season at edition level. It makes teams a bit nervous as well. Why? ISL League winners get the ACL 2 spot, and the second spot goes to the Super Cup winners. So there's no change. What passport does Ryan have? Why would he leave Australian passport for Indian? XYZ, why he has an Australian, that's the first answer. The second answer is very simple, for international football. And if you would offer him the chance to play for India, why wouldn't Ryan Williams play for India? He's already playing in it. He knows the system. He knows the players. It's not someone new that you need to bring in and he needs to learn about Indian football. Ryan Williams is in India and knows Indian football. So for me, that's a no-brainer, right? To try and get him on board. So therefore, I don't know. It's these are the kind of things that one needs to work on and needs to find solutions to. And yeah, there's a simple one in front of in your own backyard. Look at Noguera's impact. Every team he played for, what a player. Agree. Be it FC Goa, be it Mumbai City, be it now Bengaluru FC, but also, for example, the first goal that Chennaiyin scored, even a player like Noguera makes mistakes, right? Simple mistake, shouldn't be doing it, but he did it. I love the assist game of Ryan more than the scoring. He is so committed towards the contribution side. Yeah, he's there for both. You know? So therefore, Ryan Williams is at the moment, yeah, a class player. Dada Hiren was telling for naturalization process, origin player have to be there in India for 5 years without traveling to their homeland. Yeah, Shomo said that as well. 5 years. That's what happened to Izumi Arata. Came to India. Originally East Bengal, Mahindra, Pune FC, and he played 5 years, married an Indian woman in between, but had to play 5 years in India to get an Indian passport. Yeah, that's the situation. But now I think players, Korea from Hyderabad, actually really amazing. These players should be kept in there for 5 years, given passport. Of course, they would take it over theirs. XYZ, I watched Korea today, and Edmondson Korea just doesn't, he scored 2 goals against Northeast, and, but today he could have played, I don't know for how many hours he would not have scored. So those are not the kind of players there are other players that I would integrate. To be honest, after long, I can say after Greg, as I found Ryan most committed players, rest players I found more into limelight kind of thing. Yeah, that's your observation, Geron Rare. Others would say other things, but yeah, maybe. Denmark or Japan, would you rate higher? Murali, Denmark, in my opinion. By the way, I do find it annoying that CR7, despite earning so many things in his case, still asking media validation, especially the Vinny deserves Ballon d'Or, League 1 worse than Saudi. I don't know what to say. That's his character, right? A real champion doesn't speak about these things. It's very, very simple. There are real champions, and there are people who want to be champions. And yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo sadly belongs to the second group. I meant to say they can't go for vacation to their home country. Is it so? No, they can. Of course they can go vacation. Why not? That's rubbish. Do you see Australia quality is not same past that? Tim Cahill and other players. Yeah, Murali, they were a different level in those days. Hyderabad FC is a good side. I feel they're just down morally. Once they boost up, they will get better ASAP. I don't think they're a good side. That squad composition is not right. If you ask me, that squad composition is not right. And I thought that Thangwa Singto was getting actually the most out of it. And but again, at the moment I have a feeling that we've got a standard issue in general in the ISL, but Hyderabad, Mohammed Sporting are actually not good enough for the ISL in my opinion. But hey, they're still there, they're still around, so one will have to see what they can do. But to me, they're not as good as they could be. These Indian footballers need to watch Berbatov videos on ball control and trapping the ball. He said you just need a ball, throw the ball at the walk, try to control it, do it 3 hours every day. XYZ, people forget that Berbatov actually played ISL for the Blasters a few years back, right? So Dimi, who I met many years back when I was playing at Bayer Leverkusen, incredibly technically gifted player, not an easy guy to manage, but so yeah, that's that. Sir, you think Sunil deserves any FIFA award? His commitment and performance is really clinical. Giron Rare, what award would you give Sunil? Yeah, so for us, brilliant. Would you, Katsuyoshi Miura, for example, I think is he now 57, playing 4th tier of Japan? Would you give these again for us? Yes, but the rest of the world would say why? Then FIFA awards would be handed to one player of every country every year for something or the other. No. You're surprised rise of New Zealand. Mohali, I don't follow them so closely. I don't know where they stand at the moment. I only know that Saprit Singh plays for them. Don't know. Hi, Dead Shark. Welcome back. How do you rate Roy Krishna's best striker in the Indian players? Of course. I mean, where do we have a striker of the class of Roy Krishna? And I would rate Roy even higher than Sunil. Right? He's come from Fiji. He's not come from Australia or from Europe or South America. He's come from Fiji. So, and their football infrastructure, their football overall structure is much worse than India. And still Roy Krishna made it to the level that he made to. So huge respect from my side, at least, to Roy Krishna. Yeah, but looking at the non-football aspect, Australia passport stronger than Indian passport, can travel to a lot more countries with less hassle. XYZ, that is not going to be the criteria for someone to switch a passport. If you've got the opportunity to play for a national, if that's your logic of not switching passport, Hamza Chaudhry would have never picked up the Bangladesh passport and would have kept his English passport. Why would someone pick up an Indonesian passport? Why would someone pick up a Moroccan or Algerian passport, or I don't know, XYZ country passport? Why would someone from Japan, I've known in the past, North Koreans born and brought up in Japan, why would they leave a Japanese passport and pick up a North Korean passport? That, again, these logics, these in general, if you're a normal human being, then you can have this discussion. You would never have this discussion. You would never switch an Australian. You would never switch an European. You would never switch in a North American passport for an Indian passport. But we're talking about football and about opportunities. Expanding more teams in ISL is not good. This is what Mohammedan Sporting tells us. They don't have quality to play in ISL. I'm not in favor of bringing more teams in ISL. Thank you very much, Kieran Rea. That's exactly what I said. When I did that video a few weeks ago, when did I do that video? Sorry. Did a video on that, right? 3 weeks ago, I did a video. Does the ISL need to increase the number of teams to 18 or 20, or rather reduce, right? And a lot of people say, no, we need 16 teams, we need 18. No, 10-team ISL, more than enough. More than enough. Because we don't have the quality. They don't have the players. Otherwise, it was said a little earlier, increase the number of foreigners, but then we've got even more foreigners in key positions. So this puzzle doesn't work. This is the... Yeah, I want to improve Indian football, but I don't have the possibilities of getting better players in the system. Really, you didn't see that volley almost scored a bang. Of course, he's not world class. That's why he's playing in ISL. But I think he's leagues above Indian players and also other foreigners. No, he's not. Did you watch him play today? That's the problem. You see someone scoring a goal. You know what? I once scored in a tournament for the Deutsche Welle football team. A world-class goal, right? Brilliant. Walked on the left flank, turned on the right, and with the outstep, I curled the ball into the top corner. I will never be able to do that again. One goal is not going to decide on how good or how bad you are. It's the overall performance. And again, I saw him today, and he was not good enough. Are the ISL foreigners in 2014 still better than today's players? We have lower profile players now, but are also younger than earlier. Babalu's animation, there are two sides of that story. If I look at the marquee players in 2014, we had World Cup winners in there, right? We had really big names in the ISL. But the quality of the foreigners today is much better. Even though, not as big as names, but the quality of the foreigners today is much higher than it was in 2014. That's the reality. Indian players, other way around. I would say in 2014, the quality of Indian players was better than today. Is it hard for Indian strikers to work the long strike game, keep the ball from 25, 30 feet away and challenging the opposing goalkeeper 2-3 times a game? Theoretically, I don't know. It depends on training. Vincent Correa, his technique is really good. Sometimes I know you can just feel it that this guy's scored it just the way a football. I think he really will be hugely beneficial to us. Yeah, it's always a question of if if he can deliver that, right? And that's the thing. Can you you know can you do that all the time? So therefore, for me, difficult to judge. Do Fiji had better football nation than India? If no, means how come they produce the quality of Roy Krishna's structure is poorer than India? Their structure is poorer than India. Fiji is weaker than India. It's no, Murali, this guy has come up because he wanted to come up. Hamza's passport switch is sketchy. I think they did something to give him dual passport, but kudos to Bangladesh Federation. They are more cricket crazy than India overall, but still focused on footy. Why is it sketchy, Akash? Why always bring something into it? Listen, he handed in his English passport, he got his Bangladeshi passport. Bangladesh applied with FIFA to get him the status of playing for Bangladesh. FA cleared him, FIFA cleared him, Bangladesh did everything what needed done. What sketchy? No. Any instances we mad mess and jokers and clowns also? Of course, Murali. Welcome to Indian football. Yeah, but almost all those countries everywhere have dual citizenship. India is unique that you can hold a bad Indian passport. Listen, Germany doesn't allow dual citizenship. And I've got German kids switching to North African countries, to Lebanon, Palestine, Afghanistan. It happens. If Bangladesh beat the S out of us at AFC level, that will be a snap on our face, and Bengalis like us will feel that person indirectly. Yeah, Akash, but get ready for it potentially, right? I hope not, but that could happen next year. Sir, decline and dipping form and fans both of KBC is wearing sand for a league. Your thoughts on the same? Red, I thought that the Blasters didn't play that badly against BFC and against Mohun Bagan. It's just the end result wasn't good. BFC, up to, coming back from 2 goals down, 2-2, I thought was a good game. To go to Kolkata to be 1-0 back behind and come back, lead 2-1, but can't finish the game off. I thought it wasn't, again, it is, the management got nervous. Torres said a few things, I think, which the management didn't like. Then the issues between management and fans. That makes it a little tricky and makes it a little complex. But I thought the Blasters were not as bad. And this issue between management and fans, I think, has been not handled well by the club. That's the bigger problem for the Blasters, I think. I feel. I think, if you ask me that, that is something which I see that's been swelling, because it's not smart from Obik to say, that there's some sort of fascination to win a trophy. Yeah, I think for a team like the Blasters, I think they should try and do everything to win a trophy. I think that's what they should do. And then, money will come. But 2-3 years, all out, put pressure on the others, win trophies, win a trophy. I think that would make the difference. The bench strength of Mohun Bagan creating difference from years, I feel. Yeah, bench strength this season and the quality of foreigners, Hope this season, once again, I will get Mohun Bagan versus BFC finals. Let's see. I think there are other teams in the mix as well. I'm not sure. Don't you think our struggle started in Cornwall when we don't know what to do before? Also, we played badly once in a while, but right now, regular phenomenon. Yeah, at the moment it is. There's no exception. But Dada, even in Premier League or La Liga or Bundesliga, bottom 6 clubs are always in and out between the top and second division. No one questioned anything about number of clubs. Akash, you're comparing a developed structure and and a non-developed structure. Let's say Luton Town last season did cause some problems for the bigger teams. At the end of the season, they'll be at the bottom because the league will never lie. But there's a certain level of quality, right? But here, I don't see that quality. Hyderabad FC at the moment, for now 1.5 years, have been showing to me that they don't belong in this league. And Mohammedan Sporting, yeah, have also had their moments, but it's that's something that is there. So I think the comparison doesn't work. I know we have limited talent pool, but let it be. We have our own versions of Leicester City. Ipswich Town and Leicester City still have their talent, right? The comparison doesn't work. Even a VfL Bochum at the bottom of the Bundesliga will have more talent than anything. And this comparison, again, yes, that's there. So, by the way, Magnus Carlsen got banned for wearing jeans in FIDE Rapid Chess World Championship. And who cares about chess? Most useless thing. It is not even a sport, in my opinion. Sorry. Suddenly everyone with that, I don't even forget the name of that kid who won it, the Indian kid, right? Who cares? Nobody cares. Win it, lose it. Some of the biggest chess tournaments happen in this country. And the people don't even know that. I had to once cover chess, Bond, whatever it was for the Deutsche Welle. Vishy Anand interview, nice guy, lovely conversation. I told him in there, my friend, I'm Indian football through and through. You play a sport, I don't care. And he jokingly said, yeah, you're right. So what's the problem with origin players leaving their passport, taking their passport, playing the British players because of FIFA rank rule? There is no problem even for the British players. Hamza Chaudhry at the moment doesn't have a problem because Hamza Chaudhry is a local player as per the English rules because he's come through the youth system at Leicester City. So there's no problem. But for the Indians to get an Indian passport is close to impossible. And is anyone going to wait 5 years? Let's say we say today, you know what, Danny Bath, you're going to get a passport in 5 years. Danny is 35. He will not be playing in 5 years. It makes no sense. Your passport periods need to be 3 to 12 months. Period. Apart from Holland, did Norway produce any good players? Yeah. Do you forget that they've got Odegaard at Arsenal? Yeah, they're producing decent players over the years. There's a football channel, Germans aren't good in chess. It's not a question of the Germans are good or not. To me, sorry, again, haters hate me. To me, chess is not a sport. What do you think is going to win the ISSC this season? BFC or Monwa Super Giants? Madhava, I think there will be some twists and turns. It's not a done deal. These two are the top two favorites, but I still think Goa and Mumbai City will play their part in this race, and there's still a lot of football to play. So, yeah, Mohun Bagan are the big favorites for the title, but I think that I think Odisha blew it yesterday, in my opinion. I think there are other teams. Yeah. When will IWL happen? Seems like we forgot things without IWL or proper league will play international game. Garen Rare, welcome to the organization of the AIFF at the moment. Do you think our talent pool in danger zone despite ISL, but in 2000 we had better talent pool? No, we didn't have a better talent pool. It's just that we never had a talent pool in that way. Think about it, when the Tata Football Academy used to produce 25 players every 2 years, which they called cadets. Those players were snapped up, especially by the Kolkata Giants, right? And a lot of careers. Our president, Kalyan Chaube, is a Tata Football Academy player. Randy Singh is a Tata Football Academy player. Clifford Miranda, Tata Football Academy. Deepak Mondal, Mahesh Gowli. We go down to the generations. Udanta, a TFA player. Those will come. Will Manisha get released by Apollon Ladies FC for international window? Last time they didn't release her. First of all, she's not with Apollon. She's now with PAOK FC in Greece. And, and normally, if there is no, I don't know if there's a break in Greece at the moment, a winter break, might be. If there is a winter break, she could be released. Otherwise, no, she will not get released. I just found it funny. Yeah, but see, if we want to talk about chess, seriously, for wearing jeans, you get banned? Crazy. Just shows you how out of touch a sport can be. 1 hour and 30 minutes. Guys, those of you who haven't, please do leave a like behind. 16 likes so far today. Thanks a lot for that. And if you haven't, do leave a subscription behind as well. We are still at 2041. Sorry, let's grow. Get more people involved in the community. Let's keep on growing. That it's going to be, that is there. You said chess is not sports. What about table tennis? Morally, of course. Table tennis is 100% a sport. So I think there's no discussion about that. My state hosting national games in January, and best part is no district football happening here since past 6 years. 6 years, such a scam. Yeah, that's part of the problem of football or sports in general. Please lay good foundation, not only football, other sports, also India. Yeah, Murali. Yeah, I found they still live in 60s. Yeah, no, they live 100 years ago. Yeah. So our target should be to stop this rule of 5 years, right? Make it like 1 or 2 years, because I don't think India will allow it within months after applying. Even that hasn't happened. Think about it, that Priyanjan Das Munshi and Praful Patel were central government ministers as AIFF presidents, and they couldn't get the government to move. The problem is that in India, its nationality seems to be worth more than others, right? And that is something, there needs to be a pathway to citizenship for sport athletes. Let's say if someone is good in German and the German Federation wants someone to become a German, they'll start talking to the foreign ministry and to the interior ministry and this and that and everything, and they'll sort it out in, most probably in 3 to 6 months, right? And this is what is happening. And I mean, if Bangladesh can do it, if Pakistan can do it, if Sri Lanka can do it, why can't we? Very simple question. How good was Kalyan Chaube as a player? Pranjal, good goalkeeper at his time. Not to underestimate him. So to me, Kalyan was a good goalkeeper. So for me, he even played a few games for India, and played initially for the Kolkata Giants, played for Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, then went to Bengal Mumbai FC, went to Salgaonkar, then Mahindra GCT, played for Mumbai FC, and then in the end ended his career with Salgaonkar. So had a long 15-year career as a keeper. So was a good footballer. Well, to be honest, I don't see any future of ISL with this model. Akash, is there a model for the I-League? Is there a model for league football in India? Right? So, another reason for not taking selfie with superstar and celebrity, you're not interested, you're not good with camera. Nice one, the last one. No, that's not my issue. I forget it. Like yesterday, for example, I went out with friends for dinner and we've not even taken a picture amongst us friends. We're not that generation. Not that important, even though, I've got Instagram and other stuff. Just not. Yeah. Again, it's if it happens, it happens. I don't even have a good picture with. I was at Mumbai City. I don't have a good picture with Ranbir Kapoor, for example, right? And we sat. How often did we sit together and talk about things? The drinks break in every match is not fair. I feel if you're playing in Delhi, it's not needed. It should be only happen to those places where who decide impacts national team players mentally. Mentality. Rare. Yeah, agree approach, but it's now sort of a unofficial part of the media thingy. So therefore, for that makes sense. Makes sense what you say, but it's not going to change, I think. Is Greece from Cyprus an update in regards to quality in women's football world? Does this mean ownership has gone to even competitive level? Yeah, it's of a higher level. So therefore, for her, 100% an upgrade. When an average Blasters fan looks around how their rivals are working in Indian transfers, Bengaluru, East Bengal, FC Goa, all signed top Indian players from national team. It is difficult. Yes, it is difficult. Even Chennaiyin FC signed 12, 15 players last window alone, while KFC creates massive media announcement just for unknown I-League players. It's a difficult one, Babalu's. Just 1 second, I'll be there, but I'll be talking. But I just need to get something done. It's a challenge, I think, for the clubs, for the teams. But the Blasters have it. the communication, as you say, the communication is key. And I don't know. My question would be to the Blasters fans across, if they're there, what kind of a communication would you like, with your management? If your manager is honest and said to you, what, we are working within a certain budget, we focus on producing players, would you be fine with that, or would you still be unhappy? That's the question to me that I see is very interesting, that can be asked about, is that, or is it, or would you still be unhappy, right? Because you don't see any commitment from the club management to say, what, we want to win trophies. So therefore, that is a thing that communication is there, of how you're selling yourself, how you're selling things in the league, successes and failures. And again, if you're 10 years old, you are, from a fan perspective, the success story of the Indian Super League. But from a sporting perspective, you're not, right? Even Northeast United now have a trophy to their name, having won the Durand Cup. So that's also a thing. Why not focus in preseason on the Durand Cup or on the Super Cup, which, for example, in Ivan Vukomanovic never did. The highly rated Ivan Vukomanovic, who was glorified by the Blasters fan, to me, I don't know. It's something which, in my opinion, doesn't work. So these things need to come together, and that is something which I haven't seen, which I don't see, and which I see as a problem. So communication, I think, is a very important tool. Honest communication is a very important tool. Abik wanted to be honest, but most probably said what he thought at that moment, and that might not, sometimes maybe keep your own thoughts to yourself. That might have been better for him, but that's the challenge I think that the Blasters now face. And where does the journey go for the Kerala Blasters? I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure where it goes. Well, everybody has their own definition of sports. Olympics, I think breakdancing and curling is a sport. Yeah, curling, 100% to me is a sport. I've tried it myself. Listen, I think a sport has to have some sort of physical activity. So therefore, shooting a sport is there are certain sports which I don't think. But anyway, that's not my decision. Honestly, it's not so big deal to allow OCPR card holders in any national team. It's like US green card holders can participate in army. Not a big deal. I think you don't understand how nationality systems work in sports. Right? We've spoken about this multiple times. My PIO card, that there needs to be some sort of form way of working around it. Right? Sports is a very special thing. And India is generally very restrictive. And that is, I think, the biggest problem that India is causing to itself. And everyone around as well. And we're not helping ourselves. And again, what you think is nice. If you think that the government system cricket lobby is not allowing this at all, sounds like conspiracy theory, but maybe. Yeah, nice. Prove it. If you prove this, I believe you. Then it's not a conspiracy theory. Then it's proven. Prove this, that the cricket lobby is doing. The cricket lobby doesn't care about the rest. Why does it need to? They're so big. Football, other sports are so small in India compared to that, right? That they don't need it. Cricket doesn't need to look at anybody else. They just need to look at themselves. They're so big. And the rest is so small. That is the reality of Indian sports. Do you think ISL is not relegation, or investor won't allow it? I think relegation, what's the value of relegation? I don't see there's value, because the problem is, if I've got an ISL team and I'm spending 30, 40, 50 crores or more I get relegated. And I'm suddenly playing with teams who are spending 2 crores. I can cut down my budget. The investment in Indian football will be less. And does it improve the quality? I don't think so. Right? Then the AIFF would have to organize the I-League in a more professional way. Then look at the video, which I did yesterday with the question of, which I did today. Why does the I-League have a winter break? Look at it. Say now, if realistically we give a passport to origin player 1 year after applying, he will just board the plane and join national team without any problems at all, everything solved. Yeah, in theory, yes. But passport is one thing. The AIFF also needs to do some work in the background, right? Bangladesh Football Federation did some work, went to FIFA. FIFA needs to get if a player has played international football, for some other country, right? Let's say in the past, now retired Hamid Singh played for Norway. Hamid Singh would then have to get an okay to be allowed to play. So those things. So do you think in the last 15 years, BFC is kind of team who deliver most in terms of consistency? Because I was talking with few English experts and they have similar thoughts. BFC can't be talking about 15 years because BFC is 11 years old. They're in their 12th season. So if I look at I-League, ISL, yeah, most probably say BFC. Or if you look at the combined entity of, Atletico de Kolkata and Mohun Bagan, that will be most probably the most consistent entity of all if you make it one entity. If they give media breaks, then increase playing time to 100. You can't do that, Rohit, right? There are rules, there are global rules. How can you make it 100? The water break rule is give them 30 seconds to a minute, and you add that 30 seconds to a minute at the end of the half. So that's already there. I watched your podcast in Candid Football Conversations. It was good. I enjoyed your conversation. Thanks. Even though, I found it very funny with those. Again, let's not get into those. I think without calling diaspora players, we will not develop with the system. That's the only thing which can make a huge positive change. Agree, Blue. That's what I've been saying for the last nearly 24 years, right? That's the reality. But who's gonna implement it, right? It's the government. It's on the government. The onus is on the government to change things. One thing I want to share, I believe OCI PIO inclusion will solve many problems, will kick out our overpaid goats from national team, and automatically the salary will go down. National team will do well, definitely. Yeah, most probably. If the salary is going to go down, I don't know, because the ISL lives outside of the national team bubble. The question is if there's going to be even more interest. And the question then is, I don't know. No one will have to see. As for the league top scorer in the end, who do you see at the top? Can Aladdin keep it going or the rest can pick it up? Aladdin Ajay had an advantage, but the others have been catching up. Even Sunil is in that mix now with 9 goals. Very impressive. 9 goals for Sunil Chetri. So therefore, I would say it's wide open. What will be the biggest thing that will happen if PA or OCI players, because I expect us to beat pot 2 teams in Asia, includes Uzbekistan, and maybe pot 1 teams? Again, I said you're going ahead too far. Who we can beat, how we can beat. We don't even have the players. Let them settle in. It's not tomorrow they come in and tomorrow the national team will change. Even the players will have to settle it into the system, right? So that's always there. Why ISL need winter break? It's beyond thinking. Gear and Rare, I think they need a winter break, if you ask me, because at the moment I feel in a lot of teams the players look tired. The ISL season is now a long season now with 13 teams, 24 matches. After match day 12, I would have said, give them a 7-day break, if you ask me. Another, how was Central African Republic able to include Nso in the national team, play him into CAFA before FIFA said he's not eligible for them? I mean, they almost got away with him. We've had this thing also with players and someone in South America. I don't remember which country it was. Was it Bolivia, Ecuador, where a player actually was Colombian and played under a different name? Again, you register a player and then registrations happen. And Sometimes it's checked, sometimes it's not. And then sometimes maybe someone in the background does a little digging and says, you know what, there's something fishy about it, and then passes it on. Gimra says, Akash, don't you think we have such a huge amount of population, so it's not easy for our government as well, especially? I don't think it's a problem for the government. The government makes it a problem. It is not a problem, in my opinion. As a person who born India and living in Germany, one thing you look at India, you worry. I am not born in India, Murali. I'm born in Germany. Right? So, one correction. I live in the place that I'm born in Germany. You know? Worried in India, look at this whole business of jugaad. That the reality that they sell, which I feel very often is not the same as it is. In China, if China can give passport to origin naturalized players, why not India? Yeah, Blue, very valid question. Very valid question. Even if football becomes big, the government would be happy because they will get another source of revenue. Why would they hate it? XYZ, do they really think in that way? I don't know. Cricket too big for football in India. They don't even care. If they want, they can buy two Mohun Bagan team. They can buy the whole league. Murali, you think a system is imprisoned by anyway? No. Yeah, maybe with the relegation league would improve by 1%, if at all. The difference between India and other countries, if they look at good players, they may really want to join team. In case of Qatar, they bought players from Brazil, other countries, but India did. They didn't bring players from Brazil. See, the players who Qatar came in, UAE or even Saudi, some of them were playing in those, or they were playing in those leagues. Where is the podcast? I can't find. Okay, we are forgetting Sri Lanka with the Gora Sri Lankans. See, Akash, and unknowingly, you're doing alternate racism. But, right, Sri Lanka, these guys, most of them are half Sri Lankan. Some of them are even full Sri Lankan. So, it's genuine for them to play. See now that they won't go to FIFA, talk to other countries, get in a say they would just expect that player to do all that. AIFF will never do that. They are lazy. They would say we did so much. See, no player is going to give up his citizenship if the AIFF doesn't do its homework. It doesn't matter if the AIFF is lazy. If the AIFF is lazy and doesn't do its work, the players will not come. You know, that step of taking on a passport means that, you know, I tried to search how the native Sri Lankans feel about this whitewashed national team. How do you look at that? How is it whitewashed? See, that's the point, right? Akash, even reverse racism happens. If these boys have Sri Lankan mothers, or even if they're quarter Sri Lankan, they have Sri Lankan blood in them. They're eligible to play. And we're not even talking about naturalizing things. Yeah. Wasim Razik, Claudio Kamaknecht, all these guys, yeah, have a little bit. Hamza Chaudhary, for example, at home has been very Bangladeshi, for example, which people will not believe, but that's the case. But for China national team to CSL both got failed, we must not look at their model, I feel. It is not failed. How is it failed? Yeah, their system of what they've done, what they've built. Again, COVID has been a huge factor for China to not be where it could be in football, let's put it this way. But China's done a lot of things right. And for the national team, you know, Bob Houghton used to say a lot of things about the Chinese, which they did, which we haven't done. When Goa beat India, they shocked. Your response to it? Disappointed, what to say? China doesn't have quality origin players. Yeah. Shilton said it's general penalty, red card offense, Marshdeep. Okay, yeah. Tells you how much Indian ex-players know him. I can also play for Sri Lanka since my mother is from Sri Lanka. Yeah, why not? But the question is, are you good enough? Blue says, China is much better than us. If we get to them, then I would be more than happy. Exactly. So the comparison, you know. No, I'm not asking about this whitewash matter because many people ask the same question about our national team. If the AIFF allows peers, it would definitely be controversy. No, it's not. Akash, the main problem. See, this is an interesting one. Our players are mostly 100% Desi. The Sri Lankans, most of them, let's take Wasim Rafiq for example as now, but most of the others are half Sri Lankan, right? So this whitewash thing, and especially at this moment where you're having that weird discussion about, H-1B visas in America, one has to be careful how you frame it, how you do it, right? So I'm at least comparing China and India is funny. The kind of development they implemented, we are nowhere. That's the thing. Morally, I feel we must not compare China with us. We must create our own football ecosystem more focused on grassroots. Yeah, but Garen Rare, we've been talking about it. Where is that grassroots? Right? Right. If you say, for example, you're a BFC fan, you got a BFC jersey on, right? You say BFC is producing players. Vineet Venkatesh is now the player that's come through, right? Is he a top level player for the future? That you say, is he going to get anywhere close to where Sunil is gone? And this is our problem, right? We're talking about the future and hoping something will happen, and then even BFC with all the resources that BFC is putting in, and that's the comparison to China. BFC has put in quite some resources over the last decade. Even BFC is not producing better level players, right? That's the comparison. And Blue, very important point. I think we need immediate change. Yes, we need immediate change because we are happy with mediocrity. We are happy with whatever standard we have. We're not getting to the high standards. We're nowhere near the high standards. That, in my opinion, is our biggest problem at the moment. If you ask me, that's the biggest challenge for us. You think Indian women had huge chance in AFC, but COVID destroyed us? Not COVID destroyed us. The Indian women team themselves destroyed it because they got COVID. However they got it. How would you rate our women's football technical good? No. Just watch a game against Nepal and against Bangladesh and all that stuff, then you realize technically we're not good teams. Our standards were not going to change unless we take some harsh decisions. Yeah, but the harsh decisions will not happen, no? So the development has to come from outside. It will not come from within India. It will not come from within Indian football. This is something that I've been saying over the last 25 years, that the development will come from outside. We have to accept it. Wait, now if there's an African player with Indian origin, you won't take him. He is also Desi then. Why won't I take him? Anyone of quality. Sri Lanka has taken on a player of Kenyan Sri Lankan origin who was born in Nairobi. Here, the others are saying they're whitewashing the whole thing, right? But the question is, the player has to be good enough. It's just not like XYZ, that who was that kid who came over that Ranjit promoted, right, from Belgium? That is not the quality. Again, lower level footballer, amateur, is most probably worse than our ISL players or even I-League players, right? We need pros at the top level to come to play for us. Do you think we're stuck with medieval mindset? Yes. Big problem. Who do you think a development process is being holding back? It's by the whole system. The blame is put on the AIFF. It's very simple to blame the AIFF. The AIFF did that. Which, again, the AIFF is a part of the problem. But what have the clubs, what have the academies, what have the state associations done for Indian football over the last 100 plus years? Where is, simple question, what we've been discussing over the last few days, where is that Asian level player that we have produced in the last 20, 30 years? Our best players, I'm Vision, natural talent, found by chance. Baichung Bhutia, hard-working player, had some level of talent, worked his way through. Sunil Chhetri, actually a failed footballer, but worked his way up, and Sunil is what Sunil is today. So these are the realities. The current regime is very concerned about Indianness and cultural purity. That's why I have zero hope from them regarding this OCIPL matter. But Akash, 100% I agree. Uh, um, but it was also a topic earlier among in the Congress government. So therefore, they've taken to the next level, but this has been a problem. And I think, and I believe that sometimes when it comes to Indianness, it is more amongst the non-resident Indians by the NRIs or OCIs or PIOs than it is with people within India, because you understand what Indianness is. Or now arrange a coup against AIFF. Kidding, but sometimes don't you feel like it? No, it's not worth it. Because again, there are enough people who know the situation, who understand the situation, and who are not willing to change something about it. That's my bigger concern when I look at Indian football. That we're not going there where we need to go to do the things that we need to do to change things dramatically for the development of Indian football. A lot of people talk about it, but they're happy about this. They're happy with what they're doing. No, they're not. They shouldn't be. We should be aiming for the moon. We should be aiming for the stars, and we're aiming, I don't know, for something on the road, which is 2 meters in front of us. That's our failure. Any instance you felt we made more jugaad than development, but rest of time priority is something. Jugaad is always happening. We are not prioritizing the right things. I think we should stop this OCI discussion in this channel, frustrating for both you and us. No, I'm fine with it. We can discuss anything. But again, this is, but that's something that, again, it's one of the big topics. Maybe Mohun Bagan East Bengal fans will not agree with me, but we must run Super Cup, ISL, and Touring Cup together. It will eliminate defense and foreign players and will give more strategic responsibility to Indian players. Okay. Together you mean parallel to each other across the season, right? Year on year? I envision what made him different compared to today's players. He was technically gifted, Morali. Yeah, Thiman Ranveer looked like he played Sunday football, no offense, but if it happened, it would have opened the door for quality orange players. Exactly. And that is something, again, nothing against the boy, but, not happening. Do you think people who are holding power plays an important role, the intention, something else? Yes, of course. Why wouldn't we agree, but that doesn't matter until the players go outside? Yeah. This discussion should never stop. They are our only hope. I think that's the point, right? We should talk about things, keep discussing things, and that's why I'm saying we need to grow the community who's talking about these things. When I see other people discussing football from an Indian perspective, where hundreds of people are there when they're talking about international football, especially Premier League, hundreds, thousands of people are watching this thing. At the moment, we've got 14 people. I'm grateful to you guys. Thanks that you've come and joined in and come in regularly. And again, I do that for you guys. But it is sometimes, for me, it's like therapy as well to talk about these things rather than taking on it. So therefore, we need to get more people involved. We need to grow. We need to push this and, truthful discussions on Indian football, not this blah, blah, ha, 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 and what, the referee did this mistake, the referee did that mistake. No, that's not taking us anywhere. Right? We need to talk about things. We have class OCI player like Ryan Williams from BSC. We have goals so near of us. Still, we're digging. Akash, very well said. Very, very well said. Ryan Williams is a good example. You don't even need to look any further. He is already in India. He's playing already a second season. So, so that's the challenge. That's the challenge that we have players of quality in front of our eyes. And if you ask Indian football fans, the general Indian football fan, how many people know that Ryan Williams is actually a PIO? That would be an interesting question. Is hosting big event is challenging when USA other countries host, they go smooth transition when there's a lot of problems in past. Listen, it is never smooth. You might look from it from the outside. It's always a challenge. And then when it goes through, it is fine. Even, in Germany before the Euros this year, a lot of discussion, things are going right, going wrong, this, that, everything. And in the end, it actually went over well. Did Japan produce any striker like Son Morali? Yes, they've producing Maeda, for example, at the moment. Yes, they are. Kushal Dastin, how do you see it? Kushal did very well. In my opinion, because Kushal, I think, was realistic about what he could do, what he could not do. And as General Secretary, I think the job running the AIFF, running Indian football is not an easy one. Had you do it in lockdown period, you would probably get more views. I don't know if you had recently found this. Actually, this channel has been around since, I think, 2012, right? I used to upload my old videos, which I used to, stuff, which is linked for television and all, which I used to get. Yeah, but at lockdown time, there were other priorities. So, yeah, didn't think about Indian football at the time. I mean, Japan has Kyogo and Furuhashi as strikers for Celtic. Exactly. Maeda as well over there. So, yeah, Japan have had good strikers and have strikers. So, that question, in my opinion, doesn't arise. Right, we've crossed today the 2 hour mark. Wow, 2 hours and 1 minute. I didn't even realize that we've been speaking for that long today. If you haven't, like and subscribe. Defenders, of course, Morali, they've had top defenders as well. Just Google a little bit about those teams. You know, the questions you ask, some of the stuff, just Google a little bit here and there. You'll find about these teams, right? Mashida, who used to play at Southampton, who now is with LAFC, LA Galaxy. How do you see VIP culture in India? Problem. Part of the many problems that you have, VIP culture, respect for politicians, too much of respect in, other, again, everyone is a normal person. Show them, if you show them the courtesy and respect that is there, that you should show to every human, that is more than enough, in my opinion. How long has Ryan Williams stayed in India? 2 seasons or 2 years? Miku, would you make difference if you have him passport? Ryan Williams has been 1.5 years. He's joined last summer, so it's 1.5 years. Nico, yeah, why not? But Nico, yeah, didn't happen, wouldn't happen. XYZ, there are a lot of players. We could have done it in the 80s with Chimo Okeri, Chibuzor and all these guys, and then Barreto in the early 2000s. We could have gotten Odafa, Ranky Martins. Once in a while we had these naturalization ideas. But forget naturalization. There are guys who've married Indian women who we're not even thinking about. So, OCIs is the next level. Leave Ryan Williams, one of the best women footballers. Sam Kerr is Indian origin. People know that. Yeah, exactly. Do you think we have habit of forgetting things quickly? 100%. It's a sign of our times. It's human nature. Morally, if you ask me, that you forget things and you don't want to realize that how things are. And again, to me, these are challenges. So therefore, I hope things change, but I see it as very difficult. And yeah, slowly coming to an end for today. Want to end this, as I always say, like, share, and subscribe. Let's grow the community. Let's get more people involved, and let's try and change things. Let's try and change things for good, because that is what is needed. That's the challenge. And as I said, like, share, and subscribe. That's my wish, that it reaches more people. 18 people have liked it. We're still at 2041. Thanks a lot. And I'll end the show tonight. Tomorrow we'll be back. We've got an interesting game. Jamshedpur FC hosting the Kerala Blasters. Let's see who can get. And good night, Blue. And yes, Welsian, we will meet soon again. Thanks a lot. Good night, and I'll be back tomorrow with another live. This is Nawa Chaudhary signing off. Bye.